There we go. Ashes of Creation. It is time. We're about a month late on this. We didn't watch it last month. But there's a guide to Alpha 2. Let's do this one. Yeah, the developer update. This is going to have a lot of information. Okay. Guys, we are in it. We are just a few days out from Ashes of Creation. So let us check it out. This was an update that was given about a month ago. I'm very excited for it. I don't know if you guys are. Love MMOs. If you enjoy MMOs, you came to the right place. I did do the buy-in for this alpha. So I will be playing it in just 2 days. It was $120, and I've been following this game for a few years, couple years, and I'm excited. I'm excited. I've been following it for longer than I'm doing YouTube. So finally, we're at the point where it's coming out. Super excited to explore the nodes, to make a fighter, to check out their intricate artisan crafting, all kinds of stuff, and there's going to be a boatload of news in here. So let's start up, man. Let's just get into it. Who's ready? Are you ready, guys, for a brand new MMO? I'm super excited. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Caw! Oh, I missed it. I think they do the call at the beginning.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our September Ashes of Creation development update.
So we got reminders, the Alpha 2 guide. This is what I really want to listen to. Studio update. We could do a little bit of that. The art update, I'm ambivalent on. And the question answer, I definitely want to do.
Hope everyone has had an amazing
every so
month and has been staying safe, especially with hurricanes and madness.
I know.
My
hurricane has been crazy
outside.
This was before Hurricane Milton, by the way. So this was just about Hurricane Helene.
Pray that our internet stays up.
It got worse.
But I think we should be fine.
It got so much worse.
Just a little rain. We'll be okay. Obviously,
yeah, I wish, bro.
I am here with Stephen Sharif, our creative director, and I am Margaret Crone, the director of communications here at Intrepid Studios. But we have a new phase.
Stephen Sharif, the Giga Chat.
Waiting for a really long time. I know the community has asked.
If Ashes starts to pop off for us, by the way, in the channel, I'll try to get an interview with Stephen Sharif. He's been really nice and really open, and he's been interviewing with like a lot of small content creators. And I only have like 5 videos for Ashes, which is like far fewer than most people because a lot of people like niche down into specific games and games genres. And I'm just full variety, like way too much. But I would like to be able to interview him because I've watched a couple of his interviews before with like other content creators and stuff. And he gives some good information. Like he's really open. People can ask him like the hardest questions, the most unique questions. And he'll answer. He doesn't shy away from anything. I love it.
When is Bill gonna join us? For Bill, give him a little spotlight.
Margaret's pretty cute.
People have been asking where you've been, and here you're finally here.
I don't know if she's had her baby by now. Like she's either having her baby or had her baby. She's like either about to pop or she's just popped. I don't know which one, Papaxi, but yeah, she's really nice though. She's like their communication director. Design director, and this is the creative director and the money.
I have some questions.
Stephen Sharif. Do you know who Stephen Sharif is, Papaxi? So Stephen Sharif is a guy who grew up on MMOs just like I did and many others did. Grew up on like MMOs like Ultima Online and like the old school MMOs, and loved the hardcore style old school MMOs, EverQuest and so on, and loved like how MMO design was back then. Focused around the party, focused on like longer form progression, really intricate storylines, very good quest design, open world PvP, all kinds of stuff like that. And intricate crafting, I think I said that maybe. And he got, discouraged with how MMOs grew with retail World of Warcraft and, certain other ones. And he decided He made a whole bunch of money with marketing and sales and stuff. He became like a multi millionaire, and he decided to put his money where his mouth is, and straight up just absolutely make the MMO that he wants to play in the future. That's what he did, and thus Ashes of Creation started to get developed like 5 years ago, putting just millions of dollars of his own money on the line to make the game that he wants to play. That's a little bit of intro into who Stephen Sharif is. Pretty giga chat. And I have a lot of videos on Ashes of Creation so far, Papoxy, and I'll link you one of them right now. One of the ones that like really drew me into the game. It was a video on the quest system right here. They have like a little like quest system that is really cool. Also, actually, the node system. I think the node system is even more unique. So the node system is like the world is split up into like 70-ish different areas on the map. And each one, the more quests you and everyone else does in that area, the more different things will happen in that zone, in that node. And you can like develop the node, find new quest lines for like doing previous ones, all kinds of stuff, which is crazy. And other servers could do different things, and they will never see the things that you see on your server. I think that is so freaking cool. And I'm really excited for many things in this game, but that's like one of the biggest ones. Like, I'm super excited for that. And we're gonna dive in like 2 days. So I'm like losing my shit. But yeah, definitely check that video out. Give it a like, give it a comment, Papoxy. It's an older video. Watch it later. Hell yeah, buddy. That's like one of the things that like really drew me into this game. But yeah, we'll see. And this is like their pre alpha too. So they're in alpha right now, Papoxy, and they've had closed alphas and so on. But this is like a more open alpha, as in I could get into it. I had to pay $120 to get into it, but I believe in the game that much that I'm like, desperate for a good MMO, as the saying goes. And we're gonna find out. We're gonna see how it goes.
We'll see. But first, one of them is can you talk a little bit about what a director of design does here at Intrepid
Good question.
Studios?
Yeah, sure, of course.
I know about him. I know about her. I don't really know about Bill Troth too much.
My main job here, besides I lead the design team, so I hire designers, I mentor designers, I try to guide their career as best I can, within Intrepid here. But really, my main job is, and this took a while for me to fully comprehend because Steven's vision is so vast and I'm supposed to be the ultimate champion for that vision and making sure that we're communicating that internally to our team so that everybody understands the vision, everybody understands how we interpret that to deliver the best player experience that we can. And it's a big complicated game, and it's critical that we're all kind of rowing in the same direction, and so that's really my job. Steven can't be everywhere, so I need to figure out how to distill what Steven wants into things that everybody can have in their pocket so that they know how to make decisions that Steven would make.
And let me tell you, Bill, boy, oh boy.
And this guy is an MMO legend. He's done work on many other MMOs.
It is a night and day difference.
It doesn't feel so thinned out
from what
anymore.
It was prior to you joining the team to what it is today. I would be dead if not for you right now.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Brutal.
I know that feeling.
It's a lot of work,
started
man, to make one of these
like,
games.
okay, I
It's
have
a
to really
shit ton.
I put on my Steven cap is always what I say is like, okay, but because my job is like similar to yours, but mine is like on the other side of things. It's the communication, the branding, the marketing side, which is. There's no easy feat. Steven has dreams, big ones. But I think like we're all very passionate.
I actually have to reach out to them and see if they like have I don't know, like some games have like a content creator program and stuff. I don't know if Ashes is one of them. But if they are, that would be pretty cool.
Care a lot about it too.
If anyone knows in the
Bill
comments,
and I both
let me know
come from
below.
like huge MMO backgrounds, which we're gonna find a little bit about.
Because I'm like
I
all
know
in on
lots
this
of
game,
folks
guys.
have been excited for you to join us, and they would love to know a little bit more about the history of your work because you do have quite a little MMO background there.
Yes.
Yeah. Most of my professional background is in MMOs. I've been making games for as long as I can remember. I'm an old school. Pen and paper DM is
hell yeah,
as a kid.
All of us here are.
I know.
in sixth grade. So, you know.
It's the only
And
way.
professionally though, I got started in '96. I was a co-creator of the original EverQuest. Most of my
OG
work there
EverQuest.
was on the world building and level design and lore side.
That's so cool, dude.
I basically, you know, a lot of Norat, the world of EverQuest is, comes from that 6th grade D&D campaign.
I loved OG
and
EverQuest.
I'm working with some folks who actually played in that campaign and also worked with me on EverQuest now. Tony Garcia is,
Some of the EverQuest
was one of my
expansions-
players in that campaign.
Some of the EverQuest expansions were like campaigns that you guys ran too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is
Some of the
pretty
characters
cool
that
news.
we are in the world. It's pretty cool.
And so, I had a long career there at Sony, about a decade there at Sony, doing EverQuest and expansions and EverQuest 2 and some other.
I really miss the original EverQuest. I kind of want to like download it and like see what happened to it. Like just see if it feels too old or if it still has some like amazing design that we can like dive back into. I think that would be really interesting. What do you guys think? I think that would be pretty cool.
Smaller games and some MMOs that unfortunately never saw the light of day, which, at least one or two of them, I still, it's
Bill had to take down some art that was behind
still
him.
painful to think about.
Yeah.
So most of my career has been in MMOs. I dabbled for a little bit in mobile development. That was interesting and had some success there too with a little startup that I had, and did an app called Koi Pond, which was a big seller early
Nice.
days of the iPhone.
Interesting. I don't think
How
I
many
knew about
cats
that one.
scratched iPhone screens with that app?
Yeah, exactly, right. And
I don't know mobile
and then
apps
I
too
worked
much.
on an MMO called Defiance, which was a big challenging project that was
Ooh, I think I heard about that.
multi-platform. That was a
Let me see if I can look that one up.
we also were the other thing that's I've been very fortunate in my career
Defiance
is like I've
MMO.
always worked on original IPs, which is something that I really enjoy, and so that was an opportunity to like dive into a sci-fi IP that.
So Defiance, for anyone who's wondering, is like a shooter MMO. Interesting. Kind of gives me like Planet Side vibes almost, but like just straight up more of an MMO. Yeah, there's some vehicle combat, dude, all kinds of stuff. When did this game come out? You know this game? I never heard of this game. That's fascinating. Huh. I know EverQuest, so just by EverQuest alone,
you
gets
go
my
along
blood.
with it. Yeah,
so-
which is crazy.
Yeah, so it was really cool.
That's cool.
And the show ran for a couple seasons, and so it was fun. That was an interesting experience.
There was a show. I've seen the show. Yeah. Oh my God. Holy shit. Wow.
And most recently, I came
The show was
into
pretty good.
Intrepid from
Mr. Lily,
working
welcome,
at
buddy.
Amazon.
How you doing?
For 6 years, I was part
We're
of.
getting
group
ready
that
for
started
this.
the studio in San Diego for
Play it,
Amazon.
you never did?
And,
Yeah. Like
and
the events of the
I
show to
contributed
affect
to
the
New
MMO and
World.
stuff. It was a pretty cool idea.
And then and then I got the opportunity to come
Roll
and
over, how you
join
doing?
the
We
folks
missed
that-
you.
the
We've
folks
been
at
doing World of
Intrepid here.
Warcraft tonight.
Yeah, kind of like that's a great segue
We
to
did the
kind of my next question,
anniversary
which
event
is like,
for WoW.
why did you decide that Ashes of Creation is where you wanted to
How are you
go
doing,
as your
Rollover?
next adventure?
Welcome back.
Yeah, well, I've known Steven for a while. We actually met
Just
through
got home,
Kevin
nice.
McPherson, who's another
From
kind
where,
of
my
OG
friend? What were you doing?
That's how
EverQuest
I'm
friend of mine.
Steven, too.
I know, both of
What were you up to, Rollover?
We played board games together. I think it was actually
How's the sound, by the
X-Wing.
way? Are they too loud?
the
Am I
miniature
too
game.
loud? Let me know.
And so
Papoxy,
we knew
how's
each
the
other
sound?
through
Hey, how's the
that
sound?
way, and I've been keeping
Working?
keeping
Nice. How does
tabs
work?
on.
Sounds
I was a
fine.
Kickstarter for Ashes, and
Would you prefer anything
just
to go up or down?
keeping tabs on it. And so
We'll
when
turn
the
you up?
opportunity arose, like I had seen how far Steven and the team had come, the team he had built.
Excellent.
And if you guys can feel it through the screen.
We'll be talking about this for probably at least the next hour, maybe hour and a half, Rollover, just to let you know. Like, this is coming out on Friday, so I wanted to make sure I got this done and hopefully put up by tomorrow. So I'll be up for a little bit. Yeah, probably a little too long, but I'm already feeling like super tired, but this is worth it. I'm super excited for this.
Screen every time he speaks. Steven's passion for this game is super infectious. So it was just.
I hope they give a
It was
release
just
time
a
for
awesome
the
opportunity.
alpha.
I still think, you know, a lot of the
Teams
things that we're
meeting
trying
for
to do
work. There you
are
go, Poxy.
100% crazy.
Hell yeah.
But that's also what, you know, that's also what attracted me to it, because that's the
Giga
fun part
Chad.
for me. Like trying to creatively solve crazy problems is what game design is all about.
Like open development.
Yep.
It is definitely
Yep.
it
Exactly.
is definitely a crazy
It's a big one.
experience for those of us like
Yep.
Bill and I who have like mostly done where we're developing and then we don't promote the product until like it's pretty much ready to go, right? It's
Yep.
such a different experience for an alpha and beta for those products than it is for like what we're trying to do
Meeting's boring as hell. Oh,
here
gosh.
at
There you go.
Intrepid. So obviously we're going to drive that home today because today's main topic. One more question for you, which is more of like
I'm just skipping ahead a
curiosity
little
for
bit
the
here and there.
community and a little bit more fun. But like, what is your favorite MMO memory? Or maybe
Ooh.
you don't have one.
Good
You have-
question.
it's
I
hard
like
to
that.
Yeah, I mean, I have a ton, you know, both as a player and as a developer. You know, truth be told, I'm a filthy casual MMO player though. And whenever
Sadly, generally I am too. But that's more of the fact that like not really many MMOs have grabbed my attention recently. Like World of Warcraft, we just played retail and it was fun. It was nice. It was chill. But it didn't like grab me. Even tonight, like the anniversary event was just like, ah, it's cute. Yeah. Some nice memories, you know, seeing Van Cleef and all that. And it's just like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Like the tanking was pretty all right. You know, certain things are all right. Yeah, exactly. But like, I mean, well, for me, Papaxi, it's a good MMO, something that'll really drag me in. I'm only excited to find that. I'm only excited. Like, I'm hoping this game is that. I don't know if it will be, but this is this is the only one that like watching the videos and development of and everything like that. I'm like, man, I want to play this. It's like one of the only ones.
I hear this question, I've gotten this
I'm
question
the complete
before.
opposite. I'm like,
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm total opposite.
Yeah.
Steven and I are like, let's battle.
I know, but that's good. We fill each other's gaps, right?
Exactly.
The first memory that comes in my head whenever I hear this question is back early days of EQ, and you know,
Oh,
funny
man.
enough is also with Kevin McPherson. It was
Funny
me
as
and
World
him
of
when we were
Warcraft.
playing,
Yep,
and we were testing
exactly.
some
Same.
early population in EQ, and
I lived on
it was
early
just a
WoW.
simple encounter, and you know, we're playing our dwarves. You know, we always played as these stupid dwarves.
Giga Chad. Dwarves are the best race in any fantasy ever. Good. I like this guy.
And
You take
we
that back.
got in.
Dwarves are not
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah, dwarves aren't.
They can
You
be
didn't know our
stupid in a
dwarves.
good way.
Okay.
Our dwarves were definitely stupid.
Nice.
Because we pulled too many bears from this encounter and ran around like idiots for a while and thought we had lost them, and you know, back then, like, you know, our pathfinding was questionable, let's just say. So we thought for sure we were safe.
I
And
got you, Papoxy. That's fair, buddy.
and EverQuest, you know, you could go into first person
It's very
camera
cyclical.
view
Yeah.
too. So I was sitting in first person looking like right at his character, and then in the fog I see the bears come and
Oh,
it start
man.
to, you know, they're coming right
They're
at us
just,
from
like,
behind, and he's looking at me,
trampling them
and I'm
down.
trying to. This is before everybody, you know, before you used voice chat, right? It was all using text, and so I'm frantically trying to type out a warning to him, and we just, you know, we just got wiped out by these bears, and I just thought this was early on. It was so.
Everyone has a Leroy Jenkins style moment. Everyone. It was definitely unforgiving. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. EQ. The other thing about EQ was that it was very malleable. Like you could do a lot with your classes in EQ, and I really love that. I miss that. Like, you know, really tailor making your skills, focusing on certain things and so on and so forth. That was one of the coolest things for me for EQ.
So hysterical, and like the range of emotions that I went through in those, like, you know, 45 seconds.
Same with Ultima.
I'd never
Course
really felt
finding,
in a
yep,
game
exactly.
before, and
I remember.
and I just like, I immediately like got up from my desk and ran to his office, and we sat there and we talked about it, you know, for,
you know, if the Ashes of Creation doesn't work out, or even if it does work out, and like, you know, the alpha is like, you know, feeling a lull, like they haven't updated the quests or anything like that, we've played it out for a couple of weeks, maybe I download EQ and just go right back in and like just see how it is, because I'm pretty sure EQ is on Steam, and Ultima for sure as well. Like we could revisit some of the oldies and see how it goes. Like I think that'd be a really interesting thing. play through all 30 expansions? God, no. No, it's kind of just see how it goes. It is on Steam. I knew it was. Yeah, I think I remember seeing it. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I definitely don't have my old account information, so I don't know if they retained it, but I definitely don't remember it.
Good, 10 minutes, and I was just like, at the end of that, I was like, oh
That was like
man,
7 emails
yeah,
ago.
I think this is gonna be something. Like I've
We
never,
found the magic.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was definitely because again, even as I think about it now, like I was there. Like it's not a
Yeah.
memory of me playing a game.
Yeah.
Like it's a memory in my head of me being there and looking at Kevin and this happening to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's like
I remember
it was
certain events
just
like that in World of
something
Warcraft.
switched, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It's almost
We're building something different here.
it's that
Reading about
suspension of reality.
loyal Mac EQ players that had no expansion, just the original game, and still playing it eons later. There you go. There you go. I mean, EQ still has a pretty solid community. I know that much for sure. I've heard like people talking about it and everything like that. And I just love that. And same with Ultima. Like Ultima is growing. Like unironically. There's like Ultima online servers that are like expansion, like Classic Plus essentially is what people were asking for World of Warcraft. It's I forgot the name of it, but there's like a couple of those out there. And there's one like really big one rollover. And it's like growing in population like every month. I think it's called Outlands for Ultima Online. I think it's called Ultima Online Outlands. Asheron's Call. Oh man, yeah. I played that a little bit. I didn't play it nearly as much, but I did play it a little bit. Yeah.
Really, which is
I was mostly into Ultima and
you,
EQ.
when you have those types of,
But I
I've
played
had
a
those
little bit of
moments,
everything.
Margaret's had some, we all had those moments who's
Asheron's
probably
Call
watching,
was
right?
good,
Where
yeah.
we're in a game and we just get so immersed, we get so into what's happening there, you forget
All right, okay.
actually that it's not that it's a game almost, right? That it's like, and those are the moments. Those are definitely the moments that we want to recreate.
Oh, that's
like the
cool.
big ones for me too are the trials and tribulations, right? Like where you have like the biggest feats that you're trying to overcome, like wiping on a boss multiple times until you finally figure it out. Like that.
Oh yeah.
Those like, because once you do it, you're like, yeah, we finished it and we figured it out, and like then you start mastering it and you just like clean it up every week. I think like those are like the cool moments with like the interaction between the other players that you're creating.
And those are some of the things that I always harp on, especially with junior designers.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, hey,
it's so brutal.
We're building things, and it's cool.
For Ultima, the big thing was like kind of just the journey. I think that's what the biggest thing was. The journey. Get your info back. I got you. I appreciate it, Aku. Yeah, I don't remember like my username or password or really anything. So that's the thing, Aku. That's the thing. We had our own stories. Exactly.
Ourselves and build things,
and that's one thing that this game is going to do, or that is striving to do, rollover, which is pretty cool.
Leave room for the player to, because it's those stories that they can tell afterwards.
Absolutely.
That are where the real magic is. So it's like we can design the player completely out of experiences if we wanted to, and that's so. And for junior designers, sometimes that's the, that's what they think the job is,
right?
and so yeah, it's always making sure that both in our game systems and in our lore that we're leaving room for players to contribute and to be
server downwards. Yep, exactly.
To Steven's whole philosophy with how we're running Ashes.
Bob's versus Fred's.
And of course, with that, we're going to kind of transition. We could probably sit here and chat with Bill
all
day about games.
Oops,
but we do have to do the show before I have a baby. I'm like,
okay, so she hadn't popped yet.
And my goodness.
Oh my God. She's so ready to pop, bro.
That baby is ready to go.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'm definitely holding a watermelon at this moment.
That is so sweet,
you probably can't tell when I'm just like this. My stomach is huge.
She's glowing.
Smokes.
Anytime. So we'll see. Hopefully we make it through. I think I saw some people in the chat who were like, I'm worried she's gonna have her baby on stream.
Like on stream or water breaks.
About it when we were
That'd
recording,
be insane.
I think we'll be okay. So for
You
those of
never
you who can't
know.
see below, we usually have a kind of a run of show down below so you can kind of know what's coming up. But we have our guide to Alpha 2,
That's
which will
TOS.
incorporate a
It's a
bunch of stuff.
TOS.
We just want to make sure that everyone has an understanding of what is coming, especially
Yes, here we
like
go.
what is going to be the
What
features
is
that
coming
will
in
be at
Alpha
launch,
2,
as well as we will have an
which
article that will go
starts
out
in
with
2
that as well
days?
later in the
Dude,
week.
I never thought I'd see the day.
We will do a studio update, a little art update, and then we'll answer some of your questions. This will be the last
I'm
pre-grabbed
so excited.
Q&A. In the future, we're going to kind of transfer those into live Q&A. So we'll be pulling questions live. We always pull questions live, but we're going to try to just like do more of those versus like the pre-generated one. More gameplay with our players and things like that. So you're just going to see big changes with the format of the live streams, and this is the start.
It's going to be a significant.
That would be crazy to see them in the game. Like, I would love to see that. And I would love to kill Steven Sharif in Ashes of Creation, like in duel, because I've seen him play and he's really bad. He's really bad. So if you see him, he'll probably turn on the god powers in PvP, because this man cannot hit the broadside of a barn with his spells, man. It's so funny. He's so giggly, so happy, and then he misses every fucking hit of every kind. It's the funniest thing. Live Q&A is dangerous in the MMO. Oh, Papoxy, you should look up the videos. The month before this, they were talking about like signing up. People wanted to sign up for Ashes of Creation Alpha 2 and everything like that, and they had a debacle with the price and the buy-in for playing the alpha and so on, like what was included. Man, it was a live Q&A and people were losing their shit, including me. I made like a couple of videos about that entire situation, but they did fix it. I have to give them credit. They started out with like a really rough idea, and like it wasn't a good idea and everything like that. It was not really well planned and thought out, and then that was part of it. It was actually, I think, like $120 was not the price. I think it was double that. It was a higher price. And then the final price ended up being 120, and it talked about what was included, beta access being included, and so on and so forth, and everything like that. Because yeah, it was like that. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. I did make like 2 videos, one of the problem itself, and then of like the big apology that they did, and so on. So and they fixed it, which is good. But like it was rough. It was rough. It's still expensive, but I bought into it. Like $120 for a game I've been following for years. It's like one of those shots in the dark sometimes you got to take, and that's how I feel about it.
It's going to be a significant transition, but we feel that this is an appropriate transition given the stage that the product will be moving into with Alpha 2. And
there's a lot of issues.
focus is to be
and they fix
with
most of the
these
issues.
community updates, right?
Majority.
With how we're engaging with our audience. And it'll
like the only gripe people have now rollover is the price, and that it's like for the first section of Alpha 2, it's $120, which is very expensive. But you know, and like I talked about, like, you know, how their messaging was off. Like they should have just said, hey, making an MMO is expensive, we need this money. And so on. It does support development, yeah, exactly, but that wasn't their like messaging, and that was like a big issue. There was a lot of stuff. Yeah, it was a pretty complicated situation.
That path that we've set forth with regards to how we're going to be updating Alpha 2, how we're going to be iterating on Alpha 2, exactly. Bug fixing, all of the things that go into increasing the quality of the product, expanding the quality of the product.
What is Sambuca?
The live stream will be now service to
okay, I see what you're
that,
saying. Nice.
And in a different paradigm.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll kind of be like, you'll see little patch, like maybe some pre-formatted videos that are more like patch note style. You're going to kind of see something like that here with the guide to Alpha 2. And then we'll still do some gameplay-oriented things as well. It just kind of depends on.
That's 3-minute video. Watch that at the end.
Especially for our big updates versus the smaller ones. The bigger updates, you'll probably see those as more of kind of like the previews that we've done in the past. But yeah, you're just going to be seeing some changes, you know.
Not bad.
Let's go on to our quick reminders.
Let's do it.
Of course, we do have our YouTube subscriber comment spotlight. This one's a little long, so I'm probably gonna ask they asked multiple questions, Steven, so I'll just do it in sections instead of reading it all at once, because it's a lot. But if you would like to be spotlighted in the future, just make sure that you're subscribed to us over on our YouTube channel. You have to make sure that you're subscribed publicly, because otherwise we can't tell that you're subscribed. It's very strange. and then leave your comment
YouTube is strange.
on the development update video, not the preview video. But I will transfer over to this. So first thing here.
They're doing the questions at the beginning.
God,
yeah,
this thing is huge.
This is from
I'm curious to know if the intended mechanics or design for relics have changed during development. When Steven picked up the relic, was it automatically put in the nodes reliquary? Okay, this is stuff we've not seen. Relics and stuff. I think that might be one of the ones that we never saw.
Random mechanics of it player does when they return.
We'll skip this.
Yeah, so the relic system is still having some outstanding feature work that's necessary.
Okay.
And there
I don't know the relic
are
system at all.
different types of relics that can be acquired.
This is new.
Generally, the way that relics will be serviced is through our cargo system. Which means that you will be required to either have a mule or a caravan or
transferring via caravan,
depending on the size of the relic.
The caravan system is twofold. Paboxy and Rollover and anyone else interested. It's a lot to do with the actual economy of the game because things are not like universal around the world. So if you're in like, the dwarven main stronghold and you get like, 100 gold ore and you put it on the auction house there, it is only there for that area, that node. If you want to take that gold ore somewhere else to sell, you have to physically take it via the cargo. Exactly. So it's quite a bit different. So that brings in like, PvP as well, because the caravan system is a PvP situation as well. It's all kinds of craziness. Like it's super cool.
Like perhaps a merchant ship that can facilitate the
pirates.
dimensions
you can be a pirate
of the relic,
in this game.
And it does conform to the spatial
not in the
grid
alpha, but in the actual game
of the
that's
cargo
one of the
space
plans.
In the caravan or
mercenaries,
any other
absolutely.
cargo hold that you will then have to bring back to the node. You can be interrupted through PvP with that transition if you want to. There might also be some relics upon completion of the quest or completion of the task that just automatically get granted to the node. It kind of depends on what the purpose of the relic is, right? There's a lot of common relics out there, and there's a lot of exclusive relics that need to be fought over or potentially stolen or, pursued if a node acquires it.
Okay.
How do you steal the relic? What?
It would be interesting if another raid arrived, kind of like
what does a relic do
from a different node and was able to steal the relic if they killed the player carrying it.
So while most of the majority relics will benefit all citizens of a node and their vassal nodes. So looks like relic is like a area-wide buff, like a continent-wide, like a zone-wide buff. It seems like that's what it is.
Right.
That's crazy. Holy shit.
There was one there or not. While most of the majority of the relics will benefit all citizens of a node.
Realm versus realm? No, but there is node versus node rollover. So like the elf stronghold can fight the dwarf stronghold. Things like that. Yeah. There is that rollover, which is really cool. It's something that get called node wars. It's one of the forms of their endgame. It's like the most PvP-centric form of endgame for them. There's also, of course, raids and, dungeons and all kinds of stuff like that. But, yeah. Awakening the old... Yep, exactly. The old hatreds, yep.
And their vassal nodes. Will there be relics that only benefit patron guilds of a node?
Excuse me. That just focus on benefiting those groups. However, there is flexibility in the relic system where you can assign different types of benefits to different types of groups. That is functionality that we want to preserve for relics, right?
So I think maybe like a relic will provide gold bonus to some activity, and you can choose whether it goes to raid activities or artisan crafting or things like that. Maybe that's what they mean.
The types of buffs that they grant, whether it be zone of influence wide or down to just individual groups, I think is pretty expansive. And again, just to talk a little bit about like that concept of another group coming and trying to take the relic as you're bringing it back. Those are the types of like player experiences that we want to provide.
Pricing of assets and materials will be dependent on areas access. Yes, exactly. So like, I'm going to be a fighter. And I don't know if doors are available in the alpha, but, my actual character, whenever Asses completely comes out, will be a dwarf. And so I will start in the dwarven holds, mining away like a typical normal dwarf making beer and stuff like that as well. And I will have to take that ore and that gold and all that to on a caravan to a different land in order to sell it for a good price. Yup, exactly. A fully fleshed out economy. Absolutely. Also, it's going to be like one giant super server as well. Like, it's going to be crazy.
Tools for. We don't exactly want to curate what that's
at least that's what
their
plans
like,
are.
But
the server
meshing
provide
is the environment in which, should other players want to do those things, whether it be through subterfuge, espionage, the spies that they might have, like that's the type of player dynamicism that we want to see in the sand park, that they have an opportunity.
What is he
to create
saying?
those
What is this?
Experiences.
Right, and the last part here. Lastly, if a found relic is not automatically sent to the reliquary, are there any benefits provided to the carrier while it is in their possession, possibly tempting them to keep it?
It does sound cool as hell, yeah. Very EVE
not
Online.
Right now, not that that's planned. No, it's a hot potato.
It's a hot potato. Yeah.
If you are interested in something like that, maybe the artifact system is more something that you
absolutely
entice you. Yeah.
So there's reliquaries and there's artifacts. So there's all kinds of different things.
Yeah. So there is a system that is kind of like that for those, and that is like
that's
one individual gets that item for a period of time, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, but that's not. Just to be clear, that's not relics.
No,
that's separate. Those are artifact level rarity items that can drop within the world.
Man.
And then the last reminder here is that we do have our next dev discussion is up. We are going to be wrapping up.
Maybe roll over. We'll see.
In regards to AOE form and function. So we would love to know. We have a bunch of different prompts there for you. So definitely go check it out. Your thoughts. Make sure that you pop those over there.
I wasn't able to play, so we don't know about the AOE.
So definitely tell us your thoughts and feedback on the next topic here, which is our Alpha 2 guide.
Here we go. The Alpha 2 guide.
The first thing that we have on our list is actually, we have a little hype video to get people excited.
All right, a hype video, boys.
Obviously, again,
let's do it. Let's get hype.
Is October 25th, 2024. We're almost there.
36 hours away.
There, we have 1 month on
essentially what amounts to 36 hours away. I don't know
if you two want to talk a little bit about how we're prepping for that.
Crazy.
I'm going to show this video.
Prepping for, just right now. I mean, we are starting a 3-day NDA test this weekend with over 9,000.
Oh man,
well, it's
still under NDA.
Over 9,000 Alpha 1 testers have been invited for this weekend's test. We have a test every weekend moving forward that we have planned. Obviously the team is working around the clock. It is a very, very tense, exciting, passionate, scary, and exciting time. All of the above, all the emotions you can think of here at the studio. But yeah, I don't know, Bill, if you want to talk a little bit about prep and experience on the team right now for Alpha 2.
It's just, it's we're trying to get as much in as we can and see how it goes and react and be as nimble as we can to
it will be interesting to see how quickly or slowly they solve their problems.
Both,
because there's going to be problems.
Put in new content and new features, but react as well.
That'll be
and
interesting.
Fine tune things so that we're trying to make the game
how
better.
How agile is this team compared to like
just to give you guys
Blizzard?
the context, we completed our milestone 10. I believe it was on Monday. Was it on Monday? Was it this? And we began our milestone 11.
Wednesday.
Right, we began our milestone 11.
Milestones are like sets of features that they're trying to make happen.
Project management
in a timeline
fashion has
fashion.
been moved the teams to Kanban.
I use such things in like very, very large projects for work.
As we kind of test and react, right? And we're finding the bugs that are most problematic. We're prioritizing them. We're triaging them.
Exactly.
We have the teams that begin to work on them. We have our cutoffs. And
like I'm going in on Friday expecting a completely fully broken experience. Absolutely. I'm so excited. I play a lot of alphas, so I don't mind alphas. I don't mind betas. I don't mind games being completely, half finished and, you know, completely jank. I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
Deadlines for build processes as we take those builds to external tester. You know, a lot of things are starting to move and transition. And then obviously from a team perspective, as we now move
There's not broken,
from
they're
more
hiding.
of
Yeah,
this
exactly.
kind of DevOps
You
to
have to
kind of
see
split
broken
between
stuff.
live
That
ops
shows
and
where the
DevOps at the
development
same
is.
time.
Correct.
That transition can always be difficult, but it's one that the team is undergoing.
My team for sure is going to be changing up their schedule quite a bit because we want to be able to support those weekends and have 24/7 coverage from a community perspective. But there are...
I wonder what that means. Like, I wonder if they're going to be highlighting like small content creators and things like that. That would be really cool. That would be really, really cool.
People who, because obviously we're speaking dev speak. I know there are some people who have used these processes before in other industries, but there are people who are wondering what is Kanban versus, you know, you didn't say what we were using before, but we were doing Agile before. I don't know if you can kind of talk a little bit about
Yeah, just to give you guys a little bit of a understanding on the difference there. Is like, you know, obviously you have these backlog boards, you have these Kanban boards where, you know, based on priority, things will shift and move on that board at any given moment.
Talking about project management.
A particular
these are all different forms of project
developer
management.
is going to go to that board and find the highest priored task and grab that next. You have these velocities that the team can accomplish within any given sprint time frame, and then you pre-plan out all of the, you know, intended shippable completed items within that sprint for that sprint. So it's just kind of like it's a more test and react happy friendly space to be with Kanban, and it kind of services our needs that we have.
It's more collaborative, is what he's saying.
Before we get into things, we'll just play this little video and
all right, the hype video, boys.
Content that we've been working on in the past, and you know, building us up to this Alpha 2, and some of the amazing content creators who have been watching the content that we've been creating.
There it is. That's the call. I love that call.
Every single month since September, I've said the exact same thing, and that is, this is the best live stream of the year.
This is the Ranger.
This is the best live stream of the year. I'm going to come out, and I'm just going to say...
Okay, it's not our side, it's their side.
For me.
Because it's like, dang, like, it's cooking, and the reason that we're having this cooking...
Oh, God, this is so jank!
Because they have the great developers and the great team that won.
Oh, the video's so jank now!
Guys, I'm trying not to be such a fangirl right now.
Oh my God, bro. But look at the art. You guys can at least see the art here.
I can probably
which is pretty cool.
For a lot of people, when I'm so excited to see what it's going to be like, take the first step.
Hello, we're back. There's definitely something weird going on with that.
They gave up. They're just like, no, we gotta fix this
video. I don't know why. It's not a laggy video, I promise you.
Oh God.
And not dropping frames.
Holy shit. Oh, that's brutal. Maybe. But hey, alpha gaming, boys. Alpha gaming. This is how you know it's an alpha. This is how you know.
Making sure.
Let's see if I can just skip ahead.
Sorry.
Okay, they're gonna try to play it one more time. All right, here we go. Here we go. It's surely gonna work this time, guys.
Every single month since September, I've said the exact same thing, and that is, this is the best live stream of the year.
This is one of the caravan fights right here, by the way.
This is the best live stream of the year. I'm gonna come out and I'm just gonna say it was
it's
a
not
10
lagging.
for me.
We're good.
Because it's like,
what was that?
Intrepid is cooking,
and
the reason that we're having this
fight?
cooking feeling is because they have the great developers and the great team that they have on right now.
Guys, I'm trying not to be such a fangirl right now, but I'm gonna lose my. I can't. Oh my God.
I can.
Here we go.
For a
it's
lot
working
of people,
now.
Whenever I say I am so excited to see what it's going to be like, take the first steps into it, and really have that experience.
Oh man, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. I'm hyped, man. You know, it's a bit of a broken video, but we're good.
Yeah.
Second time was much
exciting.
better.
Sorry about the initial. I don't know what happened.
Oh
All I did was like re-put it in the scene, so I really don't know, and I don't have any dropped frames, so
I dig that hype video. That was cool. I like that we grabbed a lot of the content creators in the community and included them in that. That was awesome. Who did that?
Mike, Kyle Grossman put that together, and Mike made like the little graphic part at the end.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who are all those young-looking developers?
I know, right? A bunch of Q&A with a bunch of developers, which was really fun.
That's cool.
But yeah, trying to get people excited. So to kick things off, obviously the first things first is dates. You saw there that Alpha 2
I wonder if they're going to give a
October
time.
25th, and this is for players who attained Alpha 2 access via a giveaway. So
which
if you
I
got
did.
any of the giveaways, if you notice, we did do a little giveaway a couple.
I didn't do the giveaway. I just bought it.
Maybe yesterday.
Like a freak.
We will be doing more of those, so stay tuned for those types of things. They will come.
I just bought it.
Patches here and there.
God.
So if you got it through a giveaway, if you purchased a Kickstarter pack that has Alpha 2, or a Kickstarter add-on that has Alpha 2, or a pre-order pack or pre-order pack add-on that has Alpha 2, that will give you access on October 25th.
Yep.
If you purchased the first wave bundle, you will start on November 8th, 2024. And if you
Wait a second. That's me. I bought the first wave bundle. I'm on November 8th, guys. I'm an idiot. I was planning all around doing this on Friday. Oh, man. Okay. Anyways,
purchased a second wave bundle, that will be December 20th.
I got too
And
hype.
then,
It's a week
if you
after.
purchased a third
Yeah.
wave bundle, you'll be joining us in May 1st.
It's not too much longer. It's November 8th is the week after, so it's not this week. It's next week that we'll be playing. But still ripperoonies.
2025. So just kind of keeping in mind those dates.
Man,
We will have an article that goes over kind of basically everything that we're going to go over
borked
today.
that completely.
And that will be coming out probably next week with some more details. But yeah, that is the first bit, just to make sure everyone gets the dates right. Knows what
Yeah,
those are.
half the issues
If you
will be
have any
fixed.
questions,
Exactly,
feel free to ask us.
exactly.
We are always willing
Exactly.
to answer those as we move forward.
That's fine.
The next thing is kind of just talking a little bit about Alpha 2 and what people can expect.
Yeah, I want to see if there's any footage.
When I play.
Look at the new issues, yeah.
We will play through that, and then we'll come back and we'll be talking a little bit more about the features.
So they'll be playing through the beginning of where we would show up in Alpha 2.
Showing off the
That's
map,
what's going on.
as well as some of the archetype abilities and things of that sort. So we'll see you all in a short bit.
All right. There is gameplay in here. Hell yeah. This is what I'm excited for. This is why I'm up at 7:45 in the morning here.
Hello, adventurer. Welcome
To be fair, I thought
Ashes
I
of
only had a
Creation
limited
Alpha
time
2, where
Friday.
the world of Vera is yours
Oh,
to
well.
explore and shape. Ashes of Creation Alpha 2 is an important early testing phase, which will be continually updating. As a participant, your journey will help shape the game's future through providing feedback and hunting down bugs to help us refine the world of Vera. When you first step through the portal, you'll begin your journey across various regions.
Heck yeah.
One of these is the city of Lionhold, a Kalar military outpost. It's the launch point.
I love the aesthetic of this game. This is one of the things that drew me in. Like, this is very much high fantasy, like, RPG setting.
For their efforts to reclaim their ancestral home. Here,
Look at those lions, man. Look at the lion over here. Look, dude, this is so cool.
you'll meet the locals and embark on countless quests and adventures. As you continue your journey through Vera, you'll discover the Citadel of the Steel Bloom, once the proud headquarters of the Order of the Steel Bloom. Now it's abandoned and overrun by mercenary bandits. Treasures, dangers, and untold stories await. You may be wondering, how will I travel to all of these places?
Great question.
Don't worry, adventurer. There are so many ways to explore Vera.
We get mounts. Okay, I was wondering if they would have mount capability in the Alpha 2. This is heavily implying mounts.
Including a variety of mounts to carry you across vast
Here we go.
landscapes,
No,
through
just saying
dense
it.
forest, and over rugged
No
mountains
implication.
to reach your destinations.
Oh, wiggled! What a good dog.
Nodes are a major part of our journey, offering you choices that will shape the world. Will you join the node of Winstead or ally with the city of Miralith? Each decision shapes the world, and the node you choose will grow, thrive, and evolve based on your contributions. What are those contributions, you ask? You can help expand your node by trading, crafting.
So these little huts is how the node starts. And it goes from this all the way into a bustling metropolitan city. And every stage in between. Every single one of them. It's crazy.
And helping it grow into a prosperous city, you can fight creatures, complete quests, participate in events, commissions, and mayoral commissions, node wars, and of course, gathering.
And yes, we can be the mayor of a node. We can be the leader of a town or a city. That's so freaking cool. The power overwhelming.
Throughout your journey, you'll find valuable resources in the wild, from ores to herbs to lumber. Each resource plays a vital role in the development of both your node and your character.
We're absolutely going mining. Mining and blacksmithing, man. 100%.
Caravans are another way to aid your node, transporting vital...
I don't know how many different professions we can do, but I would love to do alchemy as well. I don't know if we could do it on the same character, if I have to make a different character yet. I have no clue. There's a guy named Anduin. Nice. Are the nodes fixed, or can you start your own? They're fixed. The nodes are fixed, but the development of the nodes, there's like 70 plus of them rollover. There's a bunch. Everything from places that are like on the shoreline to like in the middle of the desert to in the mountains to under the mountain to like normal looking like, you know, fantasy human city type of deals to inside trees and everything in between. Yep, we got a Bucky. Yep, exactly.
Goods is essential for your new home's development.
And there's also a guy named Planendorf instead of Ganondorf, which is nice as well. A lot of punny names. Real
Be
people.
wary. Other players may seek to claim your cargo for themselves.
This is the people attacking the caravan. This is like the example of the big, like, you know, constant PvP struggles that'll happen in the game, which I'm super excited for. No idea rollover. Could be.
Caravans aren't the only place where you'll face off against other players. Don your equipment and prepare for node wars, where skill, strategy, powerful gear, and teamwork will determine victory.
This is the Bard, by the way. And the Bard is like a true support class. It's not a full healer. It's not a full buffer. It's not a full DPS. It is actually a support class. And I don't think World of Warcraft even still has a support class. Even after 20 freaking years. I think the closest thing is the Evoker. But it's like not even really that. Like, this is a true support class. A true Bard. Super cool.
Or defeat. Travel to Oakenbane Keep to challenge the formidable beasts lurking within.
Okay.
Not all threats are ordinary.
World boss.
Deep in the wild, Tumok.
Yeah, augmentation is the closest. Yeah.
Beware, he doesn't take kindly to intruders. The world of Vera is alive and ever-changing, shaped by your choices.
That's
so
cool, Dragon.
Yourself, adventurer. Alpha 2 is just the beginning.
We need to watch all of these videos.
The journey awaits. Will you rise to the challenge?
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, that's cool. Oh, man. I'm so in, bro. I'm so in.
Well, it seems like people liked the video.
Minta Bardberry, there you go.
Nice comments about my narration.
Well, there is healer and there's bard, and bards do also healing. They don't do like... So the main healer is a cleric right now, Minta, out of all the classes that are available. And so that's like... Being a cleric is like the hardest healer class right now, as in like the fullest heal. But you can also be a bard. And also remember, at the end game, so you are one class that you pick at the beginning of the game, guys. This is for everyone. And that one class is mixed with another class, I think at like level 15 or 20 or something. So you're actually an amalgamation of any two classes. So you can be like warrior. You could be a warrior bard. You could be a warrior. I say warrior. Sorry, fighter. Fighter bard. Fighter cleric. You could be a cleric bard for like giga healing. You could be a double cleric, doubling up on the cleric skills. You could be a tank cleric, so you could have self heals while tanking. All kinds of stuff. Like I think there's 8 classes and 64 total combinations. Is there a night class? Depends on what you mean. Like, so there's tank. Let's see if I can remember that on the top of my head. There's tank. There's ranger. There is cleric. There's bard. There's mage. There's fighter. There's rogue. And I think druid is the last one. I'm not sure, but I think maybe druid. I can't remember what the last one is. Yeah, exactly, Menta. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to use a sword. You can use mace, you can use axe. Any class can use anything. Like, as a bard, if you run out of mana, you can just pull out a greatsword and just start whacking things. Like, you could be a mage that uses like a wand and like, a staff for his main hand. And then like when you don't need to be tanking or something, you can just pull out a great sword or like dual wielding axes and just like murder something. Summoner. Thank you, Hog. Yeah. The last one is summoner. Not druid. It is summoner. Yep, exactly. Tank plus cleric equals paladin. Yeah, exactly, Menta. All of the different combinations is what makes the class. Like, I think like if you're mage fighter, then you're like a spellblade. Things like that. Exactly.
I was digging the narration. That was great.
Yeah, Kyle
rogue and fighter is like duelist.
Footage over
so
the time
on and
frame
so
as well.
forth.
So thank you to, I believe, I think most of those were like our PI folks who joined us. So we appreciate you.
Also, mage fighter versus fighter mage are not the same thing. So mage fighter is one thing, and then fighter mage is like the battle mage or something like that. So they're not the same. They're similar. They'll be similar to each other, but they're not the exact same. So there is nuance of which one you go first as your main class. It's gonna be fun, MMO. I'm excited.
Some of that footage, but yeah, we've been working towards this.
I'll make a video with all of the information about what the classes are later on. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you want me to focus on. If you want me to focus on like specific archetypes, what I want to play, what I think is interesting, or what. We don't have details on all the subclasses yet, so we don't really know. But I can at least like give my thoughts, or we could just do an overall. We can do a little
Everything
bit of both.
that you've been seeing is this content that you're going to be playing. So I think some people are like, hey, we've seen some of this stuff before. It's like, yeah, because
this is the amalgamation. This is all of it coming together.
And now you get to experience it. And obviously our NDA testers have been already experiencing a lot of that, helping us work out the bugs. A lot of what we're working out on that front is more this stability side of things. So it is the queuing system,
hopefully, yeah,
which is not the most fun
stability
stuff to
was
test,
brutal.
stress testing of the realms and the server workers and things like that. And obviously, once we go into October 25th, the main key thing that we're trying to test then is going to be that content that we have there and finding all those bugs. And we know it's buggy. That's the whole point of this. So we just want to make it clear that alpha is not a game. It is a testing phase, and there are going to be bugs. There are going to be a lot of bugs, and we would love for you to help us.
I'm so excited.
We're going to have a system in game that you can /bug and bug those things for us. We will also have a feedback form.
I wish every alpha had that. Like, we played a bunch of alphas and betas for Steam Next Fest and so on, and so many of them needed that system, and many of them did not have any system similar. So,
We'll have surveys that will be going out to users and all kinds of ways that we can iterate on feedback. We've been doing focus groups as well, so you may see some of those things come up, and you may be personally invited to those. Based on your gameplay, because we will be looking at like specific people's accounts that make sense for the type of feedback we're looking for.
Yep.
So it's going to be a very interesting process, something that you maybe haven't experienced from other games before, where you're really like sitting with the developers and giving us your thoughts, and you're consuming that.
Yeah. We had some great focus groups actually that you're talking about, Margaret, with some of the NDA testers over the course of the last few weeks that the community team put together with classes or whatever, and we continue
they're taking constant feedback by all the testers,
as
which is really good.
progresses, as new systems come online, as new features and content gets introduced. Right, this is the type of rapport that we want to build with the community. From players are looking for the experiences that they enjoy, the experiences that they didn't enjoy.
Good.
And I think a lot of times when you get into those types of conversations, you can start moving into the realm of like solution crafting from a player perspective.
And I know, like, I've been watching some of the videos of people and what they think, and like right now, because like the NDA is lifted as of what I think like 2 days ago or something. So all of the people that were like playing the closed alpha, the one that was completely closed to public and everything like that, they had to be invited to it and so on and so forth. They are now able to give all of their feedback completely openly and freely. So there's a crap ton of information out there now. And like one of the people was talking about the tank and basically how active block works, because you have to like raise up your shield actively and like actually like block like that and so on, and how that's like still going through iterations and everything like that. So like they're taking feedback on a regular basis here, which is really, really good.
And I will say that when we talk about the types of feedback that are most beneficial for us as a development team, really what we're looking to hear from players is your experience, not so much the types of solutions that you or others might think can apply to the situation, but rather what was it about
don't worry, we'll give that too.
A particular system or piece of content that you enjoyed. Why did you enjoy it? Why did you not enjoy it?
Yeah.
Right? Kind of elaborate on the player experience.
Chat, we'll be giving a lot of that. We'll be figuring out, because I played a billion different MMOs. Not a billion, but like I played a lot of them. And I played a lot of different kinds of MMOs. So I think I'm pretty uniquely placed here for like, you know, different iterations. I played everything from tab targeting to fully action and everything between, every iteration of MMOs, from like straight up MUDs to World of Warcraft retail and everything between. Like I've played so many
aspect.
I know what I find
we take
fun.
That puzzle and we start, you know, incorporating either the complexities and how it relates to many other systems,
as people
how
don't say
we can
how
address
to
those
fix
experiences.
Oh yeah,
expand.
I don't think he's saying like don't tell us how to fix it, because he knows people will say it, but he's like also saying like what he wants people to more focus on are like their actual experiences and what they really like, dislike, because like they're trying to make it a game that people can enjoy. So if they don't get feedback also on, because like a lot of people think bug testing and like, you know, alpha feedback is just like, this fucked up, but it's much more than that. And that's how I'm taking this point. And it's like, yeah, your crafting system works really, really well in this specific situation, or attacking on the ground feels great, attacking in the air does not. You know, certain things like that. Very, very specific, hyper specific almost. Things that work and don't work. I think that's kind of what his point is.
Upon them, those are the best ways to kind of, you know, elicit, I think, proper
that's my guess. I could be wrong.
From the community. And I think that the community's been doing a great job with that thus far, right? We have collected a lot of really actionable, good pieces of feedback over the course of our normal monthly developer updates and how but too.
Yeah, and the community team actually has been working, I believe Vacnar has been working on a like how-to guide.
We're just jumping through some of like the bits and pieces that we don't need.
We've obviously done bug reporting in the past and had a template for that, but we'll have a feedback template as well. That would be very helpful for us, because then we'll be able to get more valuable feedback. Really, you know, the goal for us is to figure out what those trouble points that you guys are having and let us figure out the solutions, you know. I think that's the big thing. You can provide some, but like that's really where things get better for us, is to make sure that we know where the trouble points are. And a lot of times we're like, oh yeah, we already knew that. We're already having a process for that. So we normally are on the same page as you guys, especially with the reporting that we've had so far.
I don't know. Like, there's always developers that think something dumb and they're like, no, we're doing it this way. I mean, I'm not saying that these guys do, but look at Riot Games. Bro.
Nothing has come to
look at Blizzard
as a major surprise. I think
Plenty of
question
times
sometimes
that
in
they
our Q&A,
completely
which is
bork
like, has there
something.
been any surprises? And obviously there are surprises when it comes to development finds that we find where like we have a trouble points in like the engine or whatever it might be, or features that we're creating. We normally are like, yeah, we knew that was going to be a problem because we're not quite finished with that yet. And first is that obviously we've talked about this before, but Alpha 2, we're planning to on October 25th release the NDA. So we're hoping that we can release the NDA.
They actually released the NDA early, which is pretty cool.
Footage,
I really like that they released the NDA early, because I mean, everyone is able to give feedback 2 days early, which is really, really good. We got this bro attitude. Some people have. I don't get that kind of attitude. When it's when you're too close to something, Papoxy. Do you know what I mean? It's when you're too close to something. Like, have you ever like seen a crime show, Papoxy, where like the detective, if they know someone that was killed or something like that in the show, they're not allowed to be on the case, and it's because they have like a bias and stuff. It's kind of like that. That's the way I see it, but obviously on a less serious level. And so they just generally feel that they know best, and a lot of times that can lead them into a bit of a fallacy where they don't know best, because they're not looking at it from the outside looking in. They're not looking at it from their perspective, in this case, of a gamer playing the raid, as opposed to them designing the raid. And this is something that every MMO has struggled with, like every single one of them. And I have no doubt there will be growing pains here with Ashes of Creation as well. I'm okay with that, because like all I want is to see growth, and also to see how this game is unique and how it hits different aspects of gaming and so on that we've not had in the MMO world for a decade, if not longer. So yeah, like I don't mind that there will be growing pains. I know that there's going to be a lot of stuff that I don't like. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I don't even bother doing. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I skip over. I feel it's too much of a grind. I'm probably not going to run for any mayoral candidate or anything like that. And that's just talking to too many people. I have no desire to do that, for example. Yeah, exactly, rollover.
Articles, do whatever it is that you would like. But just keeping in mind that there are going to be a lot of bugs. Again, this is not a polished, finished game. This is a true alpha world.
Yeah, and
everything's subject to change.
Active development.
Yeah.
Activity conversation that we saw back during Alpha 1, right? Prior to Alpha 1. And
I was not in the community at that time. I have no idea what happened in Alpha 1. That was like 3 years ago, just to let everyone know. So I have zero clue what the community was like. I have no idea what the discussion was like. I have no idea what the feedback was like. I ain't got shit for that. Which is probably a good thing.
Even expectations that are set perhaps that are not in line with what Alpha 2 is intending to deliver, and what the purpose of
what they're worried about a lot, and they were talking about this the last time in that big video, is like people expecting to have like a playable game, and it's like a completed game. It's not. It's an alpha. I know what that means because I've done a lot of alpha testing, but a lot of people don't know what that means. And he is fair to make this point.
Alpha 2 is. It's the additional content loops that we're looking for to stabilize the product, the game client, as well as our backend infrastructures. This is especially in phase 1 and 2. As we move into phase 3, that's when a lot of those stability and performance
that's when it really comes together.
Efforts in phase 1 and 2 will,
and that's like next year, phase 3. So phase 1 starts in November, essentially, or October 25th, and then I get into it November 8th. It looks like, and that'll go on until like December 15th or something like that, right before New Year's. And then like phase 2 will be the beginning of the year, like springtime. And then phase 3 will be like, late spring, early summer. So that's the roadmap. Like we have a lot of
phase
time.
3, you will see a lot more systems and features,
and there will be wipes
fleshed out.
I think
where the core gameplay loops are going to be a bit broader. So just keeping in mind that as part of our community who tune in to these monthly updates, you are also the advocates who we can rely upon to spread the message and the purpose of Alpha 2 to the broader audiences that are less engaged. when people say, wait a minute, this isn't a finished game, our response is it's not intending to be. This is alpha 2 and the functionality.
We already know this.
Yeah, this is the time where we're looking for y'all to help us figure out what are the things we should lean into, what are the things we should.
And really, like, the reason I did the buy-in, guys, is because I want this to be a good game. I've made so many videos talking about how I just want good games, and this is like one of the most open development teams I've ever seen, and I feel like I have an opportunity to help in some small way make a good game, and more than that, make a good fucking MMO. Holy shit. Do they have a rough release timeline for the final product? No. I don't think so. They don't have a release date for sure. They're taking it like one aspect at a time. So like the Alpha 2 phase will be all through the next year. So all through 2025. And like probably, I think like betas will start probably end of 2025. So when they have all the stability ironed out and so on and so forth, that's only then is when they'll be starting like the true beta process. And then like I would estimate probably 2026 would be closer to a release date. And that's probably when they're going to even start having conversations about a release date. So it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. But I'm excited, man. That sounds feasible. Yeah, exactly. And they've been putting in years of work so far. And the really good thing, Papaxi, that I like about this team, what they're doing, is that they've been working on systems the entire time. They've been working on graphical systems. They've been working on the node system. They've been working on the node wars system. They've been working on the specific parts of the crafting systems. They're not doing like they're doing some, like they have a couple of teams that are working on just quest creation and so on and so forth, and that will happen much more in the beta is when all of that work really happened. But right now they're doing just mostly the sheer focus on actual systems, making the gameplay good. Alpha phase will be what, 6 to 8 months? Exactly. Yes. Correct. And then another 6 to 8 months for beta. Exactly, rollover. Exactly. I like there's no release date, less pressure on the devs, and more time for them to iron out the wrinkles and make an actual good game. Yeah, exactly. And like this is why they didn't talk about when Alpha 2 would be, Minta, until like last month. Like literally last month-ish, or like a month and a half ago, is when they first started to talk about like, or maybe was it maybe it was 2 months ago, was when they first started talking about like this is when Alpha 2 is. And people have been asking them when Alpha 2 would be since 3 years ago when Alpha 1 ended. And they still held firm and just made sure that they kept work on the actual hard work, which is hard to do. It's hard to say no to that money. I fear that this man will not sleep today. Oh, no, we're finishing this. Yeah.
Should back away from.
I made a mistake, Kato, and I thought like Alpha 2 for me, for Ashes of Creation, would be starting in like literally 36 hours. And yeah, I'm wrong. My key becomes active in like November 9th. So yeah, that's why I was covering this tonight. Now I could stop, but I'm just going to keep going because I'm really excited. Only happy accidents, exactly.
Or not, and even the things that when I say back away from, that doesn't mean forget, right? But yeah, it's really an opportunity for you to help us make decisions.
Exactly. To
define what that play experience is going to be.
2 hours long. We're skipping ahead, and like we won't be like looking at like the art part or anything like that. We're going to be doing the Alpha 2 guide and the preview, but like there's entire chunks of this that we'll be skipping over,
both initially and long term, because all ideas are valid and we want to hear your ideas. It's just a matter of when and how.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so talking about some of the features that you will experience in Alpha 2, and I don't know if Bill and Steven, you want to go into more detail about these, but I don't know if you want me to kind of list it and then you talk a little bit about it, or what would you
Sure.
like? But the first one is
I know,
obviously
Minta.
nodes. Nodes is a key part of
No
the world and
worries.
building the world in Ashes of Creation.
And this is giving us lots of good detail, like about the nodes and everything.
And there will be 2 that you guys have been aware of, but there will be some additional ones as well. And I'll kind of show the map, which might assist with that. While you want to take that away, Stephen?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, as those of you.
By the way, guys, they completely revamped their website. Like, their website looks so much better now. Like, so much better. We'll explore various parts of this website later, for sure. Absolutely for sure. But like, that's just a random aside. I'm looking at like
the project
website
nodes are kind of the apex of, you know, content confluence, right? Where you know, we turn the dials of a dynamic.
I just have a way with
around
words
how
roll
nodes
over.
progress.
Yeah,
These are
exactly,
also where
Vincent.
players
Snuff, this is a game called Asses of Creation. It's Ashes, but I call it Asses of Creation. And this is my great hope for you know, the future of MMOs, by the way. So, by the way, guys, let me move my head to the bottom. This is one like section. This is the Riverlands. And I think that this is a node. Okay, it shows right here. So everything green is a node. So in this entire area, this is one node. 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 These are the 5 main nodes on this like entire chunk of a continent. This game is going to be freaking massive, guys. Like, absolutely, completely borderline crazy massive. That's how big this game is going to be. I just wanted to give you guys some scope.
To expand the services that they have access to, whether that's through artisanship, whether that's through the
Snuff, are you an MMO fan?
Lead out into the points of interest around those nodes, the spawn tables that change throughout the world. These nodes within the Riverlands, these 5 nodes will be the kind of starting phase 1 nodes that players are going to be helping to build up. So this map that you're seeing here, you know, obviously, you know, this represents portions of the lawless zones as well, in the Sand Squall Desert, as well as the Turquoise Sea Tropics.
Okay.
Those are
Hell
spaces where we have included a kind of temporary mechanic.
Waiting for the MMO Riot is making. I just want you to know they restarted development on that like 6 months ago. So that MMO will be like the greatest MMO of like 2050 or something. That one is not coming out anytime soon, Snuff. Like, this is going to be much sooner, and it's not even going to be that soon, but it's going to be much sooner than Riot MMO for sure.
That
like,
don't
it's not
have
even
nodes
close
within them. However, they do have
sadly
node caravanseries. So part of what nodes provide also
Duke
is the
Nukem
ability
Forever
to
Online,
trade,
that'd be great.
to gain wealth,
balls
to
of
turn
steel.
in, you know, the achievements that you've acquired through
Of
hunting,
life,
through
right? Yeah.
progression, through
hope so,
glint,
too.
essentially, into these tradable resources, these commodities that can move throughout the world. And where they move to is node destinations, except for these lawless zones where there are caravanseries that can also be turned into without nodes. So just a key distinction point.
So there are ways to make like a little mini city, not even in a node, by the way, guys. And also there is player housing. And the player housing can be, it has a lot of steps to do it. Like, it's going to be a grind to get it. It's not like you hit level 40, you get a player house. No, you have to do like all kinds of crazy shit in order to get a player house. But that player house can go a lot of different places. Like, it's very, very broad. And it's like a homestead. We did look at, I don't think I ever put it up actually, but I did look at the, we did watch the homestead video. And my God, it looks so good. It looks so good.
That, Bill, or has the Feely covered everything?
Absolutely.
Well, no, so I think Steven's covered it. You know, nodes. We often say, you know, internally, nodes are the game, right?
Yeah,
they are
so many features attached to it too, and systems. So
they are the core internal structure that everything else hangs off of, right?
And speaking of those things that hang off of it,
No Man's Sky scale vibe. Yeah. I mean, but there's no other like you know, what is it called, planets or anything like that. But yeah, this is like in terms of scale, Snuff, it's huge. It's absolutely gigantic. Like, they've talked about scale of map and everything like that, and I don't think anyone realizes how big it's going to be. Like, I have a good sense of scale. I'm very like visuospatial kind of guy, and this game is going to be freaking massive. Probably the biggest MMO I've ever played in my life, except for maybe just by virtue of that being planets and such. But it's like only pseudo planets. EVE Online. EVE Online is like the only one that like even comes close in terms of scale for me.
World PvP.
Like, no joke.
Stephen talked about a couple of the lawless zone areas. I don't know if you want to go into any more detail about open world PvP. I feel
lawless
like it's straightforward, but
it is straightforward.
Yes.
Given that we're kind of concising as much as we can into kind of this guide concept with this particular live stream, I'll kind of cover those points a little bit more. When the game launches, we have these concepts of open seas. And right now, the lawless territories are kind of serving that purpose where, you have certain drop rates for particular types of materials that are going to be kind of focused more around later game progression that players will vie for in those locations. Now, obviously, given that players can drop resources on...
You can see the two lawless zones right here, the lawless turquoise sea tropics and the lawless sand squall desert.
Death specifically and especially during PvP, while you're within these lawless territories, you're going to be emulating that kind of game launch feature, which is the open seas, that these are open spaces for PvP. So you're entering this territory knowing that PvP is possible at any given time without repercussion. This is an opt-in by the player. And so when you enter those zones, you're going to be flagged for PvP immediately, but there's going to...
And you don't have to go to these areas, by the way, guys. You don't have to go to these areas. So if open PvP is freaking you out, if you're watching this video, these are areas you do not have to go into. The world is so massive, you could live your entire in-game life in just this area. And this is just but one set of 4 nodes. That's it.
Be high-end monsters there to fight. There's going to be high-end resources there to gather.
Kataxi, how you doing, buddy? Welcome.
Turn-in destination that's available for those caravans that I was talking about as well. Now, as we progress beyond phase 1 into phase 2 and into phase 3, those lawless territories will be settled. And by settled, what I mean is that content will expand to include them, and the lawless territories will change to be then the next territories that we are planning to...
So right now, it looks like just this chunk of the area is where there are quests and like where there's like actual content, event hubs and so on and so forth. So far. And I do know, having listened to a lot of the alpha testers that are able to talk, they're no longer under NDA. It was like literally different quests and stuff were being added every single week. So this will like spread as the alphas go on, as the alpha goes on.
Update and bring in content within, right? So it's kind of fan out as
like
Alpha
spreading.
2 progresses. Correct. Yes.
Right.
Pushing the border of the frontier, right? It's
Yeah, I love that. The pushing the border of the frontier is a perfect analogy.
Sounds rad.
goes
It
together.
does.
Essentially that's what it is, right? You can view Alpha as almost a live development settling of the world of Vera, right? As the content pushes the boundaries, as that progression occurs.
By the way, Minta, did you know that Fallout 76 is having a major event? I was thinking of covering it tonight, but it's too late. I'll probably cover it tomorrow because 76 is having a major event as well. Is Division gone? Yeah, Division is gone. At least it's no longer getting updates. The servers might be up still. But yeah, you did not know? Well, stay tuned tomorrow, Minta, and I will cover it.
These territories are getting unlocked.
And reminder again how those updates will be happening.
It was Fallout Day.
Every 3 weeks, we'll have like our smaller updates, and then every 6 weeks, we'll like alternating them. We'll have our bigger updates, which will have bigger features.
And yes,
So
I'll probably
keeping that
play a
in
little
mind,
bit of 76.
as we move forward. Obviously,
Now that I'm not actually playing the alpha of this game for another, like 10 days or so, I will probably play some 76 at some point this week to, see the new content. Just let you know.
PvP is there for folks who love PvP, but not everybody's a PvP fan. Obviously, we are a PvX game, so if you don't like PvP,
Yeah, we missed you,
like
Minta.
that is a part of our product. So you're going to need friends if that's not your thing. But we do have a lot of PvE content, including questing, dungeons,
world
and
bosses.
Raids. Obviously, we'll have
all
less
of these
raids
things
to start with, but as we expand, we'll have more of those, and those are kind of like world bosses
You
at the
friends.
current moment. But they may change to have some raid bosses.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Things like that as we expand, but. To start with, there will be those. And I don't know if you guys want to talk a little bit about the PvE content that is going to be available. Obviously, some of that is listed here on the map as well for folks.
Yeah. No, this is good. This is good information.
Really see that map. It's very small. But, I mean, we can go through, obviously.
Oh, man. By the way, okay, so just to give you guys a sense of scale a little bit again, my first video on Ashes of Creation ever was, and I linked it in chat already, was this one. It was you've never seen an MMO do what this game is doing. This entire video takes place in just this area called the Wreckage of Carfin. That is it. Like, that entire video is right here, just right here. And it didn't go up the tower or anything. It was just on the outskirts. That's some scale for you guys. And what this was showing off was like this node system. So right now it's the Wreckage of Carfin. And if you do certain quests and stuff, the wreckage will transform. And it'll become an active zone and an active raid. Only if you do certain events in a certain order and so on. As like an entire like generalized group of people in that node. Which is crazy as hell.
From a hunting grounds perspective, right, in the Riverlands proper, in the non-lawless territories, those PvE players are then governed by our flagging system, which does contain
the corruption and all that
incentives. Excuse me. It does contain deterrents for players to openly flag and or kill non-flag players. So that should be an experience.
Yeah, Quinfall is the one that doesn't look real, right? Like I've heard about Quinfall. Yeah. Quinfall was the one that's like reusing UE5 assets and was like doing an asset flip and stuff. Yep. I never covered a video about it because Quinfall's information came out before I was making YouTube. So
that is relatively mitigated through the
I missed out
system.
on that one.
If it's not, we'll do some tuning work there in order to adjust it as is necessary, right? This is something that during Alpha 1 we had to kind of interject and I think play with it because of the test setting scenario where people felt like there was nothing to lose if they lost their character or bricked their character through the flagging system. So we'll have some tuning that we might do that's temporary for Alpha 2 in order to achieve that goal. But generally, when you talk about the PvE encounters, obviously there's pocket dungeons that we've talked about. There's a grand dungeon in Carfin where groups are going to be experiencing kind of killing monsters in order to either acquire loot.
That's the one I was talking about, the grand dungeon.
There's also a lot of artisanship systems that are going to be in place, including many professions that have resources to interact with recipes.
Also, every item will have rarity. As in, like, a stick will have a different rarity, like an oak stick will have a certain rarity, and so on and so forth. And that rarity can go up and down. And so you will need an exorbitant amount of stuff in order to craft. Which is great for me because I love crafting in MMOs. I love it. And the fact that, like, World of Warcraft only in Dragonflight added a very, very, very rudimentary version of this was like already so cool. And I'm super excited for a super giga, absolutely bonkers in-depth crafting system.
To attain.
God, I'm so
that
excited.
You can supply the player-driven economy. That's very important.
Backpack crafting, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Rollover, yeah. Fair.
As well.
Leatherworking.
World bosses, as Margaret talked about, those are kind of raid-based content where you're going to have to bring a lot of friends with you in order to either overcome, the Cyclops that is Tumok or Firebrand or the Scorpion in the lawless Sandsquall Desert, right? And as more raid bosses and raid encounters come online,
we didn't hear about the Scorpion. That's new.
Scenarios where you're going to need some PvE expertise in order to accomplish the goals there.
And obviously, the big thing or the next thing here is lots of points of interest. We have smaller points of interest, bigger ones. We've laid them out on the map
all these red ones are like the really big ones.
Quite a different variety of spaces. So definitely go check those places out. Some of those are things that Stephen has already mentioned because they have other things going.
The Ursine Caves, Grave Peak. That sounds awesome. That sounds like there's going to be some like undead there, perhaps. I'm definitely going to check that. Oakenbane, we've seen that in one of the thingies. The Ruins of Ayla. That's going to be cool. The Church of the Seven Stars. That was, I think the mage update was in there.
On in them as well. We do have mounts. There will be a variety of mounts.
Just to name a few.
There will be quest lines for you guys to complete to try to get those mounts. So definitely go get yourself a mount because walking takes time. You will be walking for a long time if you don't get a mount.
I'll be walking as well.
The world is quite big already.
Rave Peak is the Dwarven Disco, exactly.
Only in Alpha 2.
The Dwarven Disco.
So much more of the world to build for you guys, which... like we've talked about before, kind of you'll be progressively seeing that stuff throughout the months.
And I think that's a good point about Alpha 2 as well as far as the information that we're trying to get out of this is like we need to know again like what to lean into and what to not. So we need to know what parts of this are working before we build more. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone has to walk from one side to the other to see how long it actually takes. I'll do it. Epoxy. Yeah, just put myself on auto run. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. Oh my god. That would actually be insane. That might be a fun video, Epoxy. Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, because a lot of those things are
validate
duplicatable.
Yeah, we need to validate that direction, right? And I think, that obviously is the most unique nature of how we're doing this differently than other projects. To have this early access and in an open and transparent manner, make sure that what we are intending to continue doing is on the right path of what players want.
People are asking if there's an RP walk. Yes, right now that is linked to the period button. Just hit that and you'll see it.
There is the RP walking, guys. There is the RP walking.
Using it actually, and
good.
We've used it in many videos for walking through areas. The next thing here is I'm going to kind of group these up together: gathering, processing, and crafting.
Ooh, hell yeah!
There will be artisanship stuff that you can do. All of those things are available. You can hop in, you can play through them. They are in their first phase, right? So it's a little bit more simplified crafting, but. I say it's simplified, but it's still a lot of steps and processes to get through things. Yeah. But there will be more interactive, I guess is the better word for it, processes as we move forward. But in the initial phases, all of the artisanship is all there, right? I don't think there's any that we're missing.
All of the base professions are present.
Animal husbandry.
At the start,
Wait, every single base profession is available. Okay. That's good. So alchemy is available. Blacksmithing is available. Animal husbandry is available. Cooking is available. All of these are available.
All the
hell yeah.
Correct. But all of the base professions are there. The tools to acquire all the gathering resources are present. I think there's some 700 item recipes that are in the game currently.
Yes.
I will say that right now the current balance of like item creation and artisanship progression is a very difficult path to walk.
Yeah.
Which some people might really like because then when you achieve that thing, it's going to be really difficult for others to achieve it. So you can kind of corner that market, play the maestro, game kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
But obviously that's also an aspect that we're looking to get feedback on as well.
Belt buckles. I'm going to be the belt buckle badass.
Yeah, I think our focus
corner the market on the best belt buckles.
Test is econ related and artisan related. So
you always need a good belt buckle, guys.
Have some iterations before you guys even get in on October 25th. But those will all be there. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add on to that, Bill, in regards to gathering, processing, and crafting.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the core loops of the game. It's another thing that's foundational and leads into how nodes develop, how your character progresses.
So because like artisanship and everything like that is another essentially like a quest line.
There, and like Steven says, or like you suggested, like I wouldn't call it simple. Like it's right.
Form
I was like,
progression.
I said simple, and then I regretted that immediately because I was like,
yeah.
it is simple in the concept of what you're doing.
It's,
Yeah,
but
it's
it is
simple in the
not.
sense of what it will become, but
Yeah.
for what it's at now, it's still comparatively to the other games
Yeah.
we probably experienced, not
Yeah.
simple.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And kind of the last feature that we want to make sure that we mention to you all is caravans. So that is going to be the next big feature that you're
I think we can only finish the Alpha 2 guide, and we'll have to do the actual preview tomorrow.
going
It's
to be
like
seeing
8:30
in
already.
Alpha 2.
So,
I don't know how much detail
yeah.
we want to go into that. But obviously, you saw some footage from from our previous live streams where we featured caravans. But they will play a big role in how you.
This is like a
work
deep
with your
dive
node
into
as
Alpha
well.
2, man. Oh
Yeah,
my
I mean,
God.
caravans are one of the primary
What are you trying to
methods
say? I gotta go
of
sleep. That's what I'm trying
ensuring
to
that
say.
nodes have the supplies they need to build the buildings they need to build so that they can specialize. They're also the primary method by which players can multiply their wealth, because wealth in our game is acquired through glint, which gets traded in for commodities that can then be either sold directly to the vendor at the node you're at, or can be transported through the caravan system to other nodes for a multiple return. And you know that I think is going to separate the mice from men in the game with regards to the economic gameplay. Those who can successfully trade those caravans across long distances are going.
For anyone who doesn't know, when I played World of Warcraft, you know, in beta throughout the Lich King, I had spreadsheets of my auction housing. I was the auction master. It was bad. This is going to be more of the same, I feel like, in a good way. I'm so excited, man. I dove in deep.
Going to see obviously a significant amount of wealth, more so than their counterparts, and be able to control certain markets. That's something that I think is very interesting. But caravans have some unique componentized aspects to them that allow for players to be a little sneaky with them. So you don't always need a massive raid to transport a caravan correctly, right? You can do these things at any given time as well, and you can take unique and bespoke routes so that other players can't see them.
We can be sneaky. Hell yes.
These are things that I think create a very kind of...
And I love exploring and finding these routes. I used to do that shit in Ashenvale, in Thousand Needles, you know, figuring out how I can, like, you know, gain 2 seconds of time in you know, Stormguard Keep and stuff, be able to gank someone or escape, things like that. Oh, man, this is like what I do in Tarkov. I can't click on heads in Tarkov. I plan. Dude, yes.
Anxiety-filled gameplay loop, which can be a lot.
You're going to try to figure out when servers are quiet to run caravans? Absolutely, 100%.
For people, you don't want to always experience that all the
internet?
time, but
I'm
the
sorry about
moments
the
you
internet,
do are going to be really tense moments that create those feelings that Bill was talking about earlier with him and McP. Or
every caravan is like an extraction game, essentially.
You know, that Margaret and I have experienced in the raids that we run, right? These are the interesting...
When you establish a trade caravan collective and run security. Exactly. Exactly, rollover. You and I will charge 5%. We're going to be the enforcers, and we're going to charge 5%. I want to be a swashbuckling chef on a pirate ship or a highway robbering alchemist lurking in the alleyways of the cities. You can be both of those things for sure, Mr. Haig. You can absolutely. Like, the pirate stuff won't be until, like, much later on in the betas. Like, probably not even the alphas, Mr. Haig. Maybe they will be, but I don't think the alphas. But you can definitely have a pirate ship. They said, without a shadow of a doubt, because his main game was Arcage. And Arcage had pirate ships. And he said that he has made it a point that he is going to have pirate ships in this game. 100%. 100%, Mr. Haig.
Fun and dynamic.
Take a bribe,
gameplay experiences.
Yeah, this is the PVX, right? It's you know, it's the
where did it go? We don't know.
Risk versus reward, right? You're saying yes.
Who knows? But for 30 gold, they might get a hint. Am I right, rollover?
You can be wealthy, but you better be smart, and you better have your friends because you're vulnerable too.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, this is this whole large scale mercantile game loop is I think something that's I'm personally super excited.
We're gonna see the worst of humanity come out here, by the way, guys. I want you to know. You think that some game like as much as I love it, EVE Online showed some like real betrayals and stuff? No, this is gonna be worse, guys. Remember, EVE Online at its peak did not have millions and millions of players, just like this is targeting. This is targeting to be the next World of Warcraft. It won't be during the alpha or the betas or anything. But that's what it's targeting at the end. And also remember, EVE Online was a space adventure where you didn't even really see your character. It is not comparable to a high fantasy RPG. Like, World of Warcraft style, and Ultima style, like all of these. Fantasy is much more accessible for people. People want to play a fantasy game. Sci-fi is a bridge farther. The betrayals in this, just by virtue of volume, will be much bigger. Much bigger. Cause divorces? Maybe. I mean, World of Warcraft caused divorces. So yeah,
and
there you go.
Interesting, and I want to see how it plays out, and how we can make it better.
And obviously,
you're gonna see like people that are like going to be spies of like Winstead, and they're gonna be spying on like Halcyon over here, and they're gonna be like betraying the entire node from the inside and shit. You're gonna see some of the scummiest shit ever. And I'm gonna make videos on it all, man. Fuck yeah. Dude, if Ashes of Creation ends up being good, this will be like one of the main games in this channel. I'm so excited. Oh my god. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be fucking here for it. Dude, I'm so excited, man. Holy shit. Holy shit, man.
the next big thing is going to be our archetypes. There will be many.
Like I hate. Ooh. Oh, these are the fighter abilities. These are the fighter archetype abilities. So like these are the. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. And we saw the fighter update. The fighter update, by the way, looks really good. It looks like everything I ever wanted from a warrior fighter archetype ever, and it's just like chock full into one. And it looks so good, dude. It looks so good. I'm 100% being a fighter. 100% being a fighter.
Archetypes for you all to experience.
I forgot what I was saying, Papoxy.
Rogue and Summoner will be coming in future
Before
updates,
this.
but we will have the Bard, Cleric, Fighter, Mage, Ranger, and Tank archetypes for you, at least the primary archetypes. And as we've noted, that the...
Look at the Bard, dude. Look at how many... So, like, the Fighter had abilities up to, like, here. Sorry, I think it was maybe up here. The Hunter had abilities like up to like here. The Tank had abilities like up to like here. The Bard has abilities all the way up to here. You can't see it under my head, but like it's right all the way here. It is like Jesus, it has so many.
Secondary augments and secondary archetypes will start coming online.
The Cleric is up to here. And the Bard is like seriously like an extra bar and a half.
Warren phase
monologue
3.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But we will have a little
you see rollover. We haven't seen the Bard update yet. We will do a deep dive into the Bard update soon, couple of days, few days maybe. Remind me to do it, because I've seen little small bits and pieces, and one thing you need to know about the Bard is that the Bard in Baldur's Gate, for example, has songs, right? The Bard in here has songs, it has stories, it has epics, it has all of these things, and these are different ability archetypes. Not abilities, ability archetypes.
Here with some abilities, the skill trees are pretty crazy for each of
Which
these.
is crazy.
So you'll definitely want to kind of check them out, maybe play different.
And these do not include the weapon abilities. These are just the archetype abilities. The weapon abilities is different. So like a greatsword will have another skill tree. A bow A short bow will have another skill tree. A long bow will have another skill tree. I don't know. I think they're gonna have crossbows. Will have another skill tree. The hammer will have another skill tree. One-handed hammer. Dual wielding axes will have another skill tree. Like these are all different skill trees, guys.
Types
as well.
See which one
over and above
really
these.
plays to the style that you want. You can build your character out in a variety of different ways, which is really exciting. So we hope that you guys have
Ranger's
fun
your
with it
boy,
and give
yeah.
us lots of feedback.
Yeah, this is a very important aspect. Obviously, combat is the most moment-to-moment interacted system within the game, right? This is.
I think I put up the Ranger video, Papoxy. Let me see. Did I ever? If I didn't, then the Ranger video is like super old. I need to put that up. I'd never put up the Ranger video, guys, for my Ashes of Creation videos. Holy shit. Holy smokes.
Something that obviously
Try
there's
mage
a lot
combos.
of
Oh
room
yeah,
for us to iterate upon.
Mages will have 3 different archetypes, Mr. Haig. Fire, Arcane. I did put up the mage update, by the way, so you can look up details about the mage. But like off the top of my head, I can tell you it's going to be Fire, Frost, Arcane. But that's not where the nuance ends. Because one thing you have to know is that this game is built around playing with friends. And all of the elements have synergies with each other. If you have 2 fire mages together, your burns will become conflagrates, which is like a step above. If you have a frost and a mage with like someone that's doing like thunder, for example, it'll be like, you know, you can freeze someone and then shatter them by shooting a thunderbolt at them. Just to name a few. The butt. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, what part of the butt? I completely forgot. Sorry.
Particularly as it relates to the ways that we've constructed these archetypes. It's not just about the individual abilities and what those abilities do. It's also about like, when do those abilities come online? How many skill points does it cost to access those abilities? What's the, proposition cost between activating this ability or taking this passive with the points that I have distributed? Like, there's a lot that goes into, and then obviously the rock, paper, scissors component of each of the classes and how they live with each other, the group composition component of the.
By the way, from what I've seen, the Bard seems like a little bit of a catch-all. It can do a lot of things very, very well. Heal over time, movement speed, supreme mana regeneration, which will be important because every class uses mana. Tanks use mana, fighters use mana, everything uses mana. Rangers use mana. There's no energy system. It's like just straight up mana for everything. And there's a stamina system as well, but that's different. So yeah, it's going to be a lot.
The encounter design for that, all of this stuff,
The status
systemically
effects and how
combat,
they affect each other.
right? Systemically, combat is the most tactile, moment-to-moment system in the game, and these types of
and the combat for freaking
boards that you've made here, Margaret.
What's it called? Fighter is just so cool. It looks so cool.
Yeah, I love these. These are a great.
We just wanted to make little cheat sheets for people. These will be up on an article that will come out later next week for you guys.
Absolutely,
so you can
we're gonna look at these in depth.
I think these are a great instrument for players to have access to. Right now, obviously, something monolithic like these are going to change over time.
I need to make a lot more videos for this game, bro. I need to make so many more videos.
This is the Alpha 2 guide. It will change over time.
Exactly.
Oh man.
But yeah, these archetypes have had a lot of love, and they think I think that they capture a very good foundational perspective of what class fantasy should look like for these particular archetypes.
And all of these abilities, guys, if it's looking like, it's not too many, this is only like up to level 15. Like, this is not the rest of the levels. This is like just a few of the levels that are just going to be really focused on the alpha. Like, people have gone to like level 25 using exploits and stuff, and there was like nothing beyond level 18 or whatever. So it was just not added in the game yet. So there's going to be way more than this. Way more when the game is like completely done.
Types, they fill their roles well, and the feedback we've gotten so far is that the direction is good. Let's expand on some of these points that you've included in these archetypes.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring a question from Lashing and Sonic Explosion from the forums, which they were wondering, what percentage of the skill tree will a max level character have allocated, and will there be powerful skills or passives in a tree that require multiple skill points?
That's a good question. I'm not sure what that value is right now. I know that in the past we've talked about allowing roughly 30%, 1/3 of the available kind of passives and active skills to be specced into at max skill point usage. So that provides, I think, 3 major swim lanes within any particular archetype at any given time that players can spec towards, right? I think that we'll probably stay around that target goal for the archetype skill point acquisition and distribution design. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question.
Cool. And then specifically for Alpha 2, people I know are going to want to know, like, what is the max level that they can get to, and can they attain all of these abilities, or will they only be able to use some of them, versus
I did not know I was muted. I was talking that entire time. What was the last thing you guys heard me say? What was the last thing you heard me say? Oh, man. I don't remember. Bro, I'm so tired. I don't remember what I was saying 5 minutes ago. But no, what was the last thing you guys heard me say? Nothing from when you paused the video. You said I'm going to make so many videos. Oh, God. I said so much shit after that. Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Depending on how they
you'll have to tune in next time to figure out what I said.
Can reach level 25. And I'm not sure, because I think it's actively changing what amount you can spec with those skill points are.
So 25 is the max level in Alpha 1 or Alpha 2.
I know they might have changed. I think they're literally in the process last week.
I think the level 25 bit is good enough for folks anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely have these up for you guys to go over, so don't need to worry too much about them. And like Steven said, these things change, and they might even change between now and then, but we'll update
in the chat a key for this game when it comes out. I wish, but Boxy, I don't have that kind of money. If there's like a content creator program or whatever, I will absolutely apply for it. I can tell you that much.
For Alpha 2, because we do want this article to be like
Sabot trying to decipher,
for the launch of it. And as we progress, we'll updates and patch notes and things like that.
Sorry about being muted, chat.
The next thing that we wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about is just kind of which weapon.
Here we go. Weapon skill trees. Mace, shortbow, longbow, one-handed sword, two-handed sword, wands, and books.
Will have skill
just
trees.
Right now. They're going to have many more later.
Skill trees, they are pretty immense and pretty expansive. So expansive that we were thinking about how we would put them on a board, kind of like the abilities, and it was just too much content to put on a board.
Rogue is not in this phase, Mr. Haig. Rogue will be added 100%, and when they do, they're going to put dual wielding daggers. Absolutely. But it's not there yet because they don't have Rogue yet.
You guys. But we do want to let you know that
as long as bards can shoot arrows from loot strings, I'll be happy. Well, bards can use any weapon rollover. So you can use as a secondary weapon a greatsword or a longbow or a shortbow or whatever. Yeah.
Mace, shortbow, longbow, one-handed sword, two-handed sword, and wand.
You could be a great sword wielding bard.
Full skill trees for you guys to play around with, which are pretty
at the
awesome.
start.
At the start.
Yeah, at the start of phase 1.
And then
this is the start of phase 1. They'll be adding more later.
For those of you who are looking at what.
Now, one thing that they've never answered that I want to know is, will they have the ability to dual wield one-handed swords or a mace and a sword, things like that? I want to know if I can be a dual wielding berserker. That is what I want to know. If I can't, that would suck, but I get it. But I really hope I can be a dual wielding berserker archetype.
We had talked about would be in phase 1. These are the ones that will be at the start of phase 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there'll be more that will come out.
There's a lot of weapons that are currently like half baked right now beyond this that will be pretty quickly joining in phase 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need my broken spear back.
I know your broken spear. Oh my gosh.
So Broken Spear was a debacle that happened. And what people would do for, like, for example, for a fighter or a cleric or, you know, a tank or whatever, or even the archer, actually, the ranger. So their main weapon, say the ranger, would be using a bow. And then the secondary weapon would be like a stat stick, which is normal. But there was a thing called the Broken Spear, and the Broken Spear had like very low physical damage attributes, but it had a massive amount of penetration, physical penetration ability. So people would use that Broken Spear and just crit for fucking ever, and broke the game completely in like the closed Alpha 2 aspect. People, there were content creators that talked about it, so that's what he's talking about. And it was the massive bug that basically took over the entire meta until they just took out the Broken Spear. They're just like, all right, we got to fix this later.
That was crazy.
Think with that,
that's actually a funny little story about that.
Yeah,
we
oh, maybe
just
you'll
in a
say.
recent round of testing, we had a spear prematurely in the game that was devastating.
It was inaccurately balanced to a previous kind of
to an absolutely ridiculous degree.
Yes, you could basically, you know, scoop up, you know, dozens of monsters and melee them to death in seconds. It was fun.
But that does sound fun.
And the spear will be back. Don't worry, guys. We will have a variety of abilities. I know people are asking about staff and all these other ones. Like we said, the other weapon skill trees will come online later. The trees are some of the weapons you will find in the world, but they may just not have skill trees, or they may be sharing skill trees and things like that. So just keep that in mind as you're moving forward. And we will let you know when those skill trees are up, and they'll be part of patch notes. They'll be part of our preview that we do whenever we go over what the.
So this is the big preview. We're going to save this for tomorrow.
And with that, we do have a little tour that Steven and Bill and I did. I'm a little ashamed because
Okay, we'll save this for tomorrow. So we'll call it here. This is like a bunch of the background information for the past hour for Alpha 2. So we went through a massive amount of stuff. What is your favorite part? Let me know in the comments below and in chat. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I'm giga, ultra, hyper, bonko excited. I think my favorite part is all of the stuff with the classes and the nodes and the... okay, favorite parts. Sorry, I'm picking 3. Sue me. And also the crafting. I really want the crafting. Oh my god, I want the crafting. So those are my 3 favorite parts. I do have a massive question. Can I please dual wield one-handed swords, or, you know, double maces or whatever, and have that be a build? Like, I would desperately want that. My god, I would want that so badly. Yeah, exactly, rollover. We'll continue tomorrow. So you guys are excited for the actual Lion Hold preview? Check it out tomorrow. I'm excited to share it. I'm excited to talk about it. It's going to be super fun. But we're going to call it a night now. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you excited for Alpha 2 Ashes of Creation? Are you excited for all the asses of creation, man? I'm super excited. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know what you will be playing, or what you want to see be played. I'll be 100% building at least a fighter. I don't know how long the grind will be or anything like that. I'm prepared for a big, long grind. I'm an MMO Andy, so I've been able to play a lot of MMOs in my life, so I'm pretty used to big old grinds. But let me know what you guys are excited for, and I'll try to endeavor. I'll check out a ranger if you guys want. I'll check out a mage if you guys want. I'll do whatever. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a really good time. World events, exactly. Yep, Mr. Egg, the node system. Yeah, that one looks really cool. And have a great night, guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. Leave this video a like and a comment, and sub to the channel if you want more Ashes of Creation and MMO news, and make sure to hit that bell. I'll be creating an absolute boatload of Ashes content very soon. including like my thoughts. We're gonna be doing like guides. Let me know what kind of videos you're interested in. I'll be definitely making like, you know, a deep dive into the various classes, just looking at their abilities and stuff, what the archetypes and so on, what I'll be playing, what I think I would recommend for other people to play, and so on and so forth. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a massive broad amount of content here. So take care and see you in the next video.